want you to set me free. Break this stone on me. Break this soul on me. Let me go. Let me go. I've been going through so much. I swear these people let my go. That's on me. That's on mama.
Come on in.
On my mama, I can't take no more. So miss me with that drama. Get
Man, that song right there gets to me. It starts talking about the shackles on my feet being broken, and now I'm out here and able to be free. That is so significant right now. And so, right now, first of all, how are you today?
Hey.
You okay? You sure? Say hello to the people. They're watching. Folks are coming from all across this globe coming in today, and not even just today, but even in the future that will watch this video that will be blessed by this. So if you don't know, my name is Prophet Elisha Kadosh. You also may know me as Dexter Powell Jr. The old man has passed away. God has restored and transformed me and done a new work in my life. This is my beautiful wife, Brianna. We've been married for 14 and a half years. And through the course of our marriage, we've gone through so many different things, different challenges. But today, one of the things, last week we had a live video and we talked about more so of our meeting last week. And we talked all the way up into the point of me coming to, or me leaving from Michigan, going back home to Las Vegas, and then returning to Michigan in August.
To live here.
To live here. I came before that, but in August I came to actually live in Michigan. And from August, I moved in with her mother in August. The Lord gave her mom a word and said to allow me to live with her. And so I lived with her mother in a 1-bedroom, very small apartment. I stayed on a little futon bed, and the bathroom was in her mother's room. So even if I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I had to walk in her mom's room. And oftentimes her mom would be in there praying, and she'd say, "Here, come in here and have a seat." So I barely knew this girl, and now I'm sitting on the edge of her mom's bed in the middle of the night, and her mom was just speaking into my life and praying and telling me things that were to come. And it was just all a crazy experience, very fast. Everything happened very strategically in our life, I think, from the beginning, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. I'm just not. I would say, to recap from last week, we met in June, got engaged in August, and got married in November.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's pretty fast.
Yeah, because we never dated. We never, I could never say, like, hey, introduce her as, this is my girlfriend, Brianna. I want you to meet my girl. I never had a girlfriend, Brianna. It never happened. It went literally from, hey, oh my God, this girl is amazing. Like, spent a couple days together. I went home. She changed my life just from the first meeting. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that she was going to be my wife. The problem was I had such a rocky past. I was only 23 years old when I met her, but I had already gone through so much. I'd already had an addiction to crack cocaine. I already had a daughter. I already had trouble. I had already been married twice. I had already, there was so much to me at 23 already in my life that here she was a single 27-year-old with a great job, her own place, her own car. She had it, in the world standard, she had it together, and she didn't need anybody else. But I came into the picture, and the Lord told me that she was my wife. And so now the issue became how to get her to see that she was my wife. How to get her to live in that space, to understand and know, how was that for you?
Crazy, because let's kind of pick up from where we left off last week. Okay. So, Dex had gone back after we had our meeting in Atlanta. He had gone back to, where'd he live? Vegas. He'd gone back to Las Vegas and had decided he was closing everything down there, and he was coming to Michigan for me. So in August, his grandmother flew to Vegas, and she was going to drive with him from Las Vegas to Detroit. And he talked about, you know, them being in the car for 18 hours the first night and having to stop and all that kind of stuff. And so I just remember calling me and saying, okay, I'm getting on the road. I'm coming to Michigan. And I was just like, again, you know, he was cool or whatever. But like I said, he wasn't my boyfriend or anything like that. So I was just like, don't come to Michigan for me. Like, come to Michigan because you want to be in Michigan. Because I never wanted, you know, there to be, I came all the way to Michigan for you and you tripping, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, well, don't come to Michigan for me. So.
What did I say?
What'd you say?
I said, no, girl, I'm coming to Michigan for you, period. Like, what? I done packed everything up, and now I'm getting an oil change, and now she wants to say, don't come to Michigan for me? What? I don't want to come to Michigan. I don't want to come to Michigan. Michigan is cold. I don't want to come to Michigan, but for you, I will endure the cold because I'm coming to Michigan, girl. So ain't nothing you can do about it at this point.
You're silly. So, you know, he came and everything, and like you said, he moved in with my mom, and I don't know if it was earlier this week or I think it was last week when I shared the story about when he proposed, and, you know, that was, I don't want to say a disaster, but it was unexpected, and I had other plans for that day, and, you know, it was kind of, the celebration was short-lived, and... She
said she had other plans for that day. That's so funny. How many women out here about to get engaged?
Who knew I was getting ready to get engaged? I didn't know that.
A lot of women don't know they're going to get engaged, but that doesn't mean that they just shut it all down. Like, excuse me, I have plans today, so my plans didn't include an engagement. Like, you...
Don't act like that's how I acted.
That's how you act.
like, just period, like, that's how I act now? He ain't lying, it's the truth, but whatever. Anyway, so, you know, we got engaged, and, you know, a couple months later we got married, and, you know, I didn't know the stuff that he was just saying. I didn't know, hey, Mom, I didn't know all that stuff. Like, I knew he had been married to his daughter's mom. I knew he was divorced. I knew he had a daughter. I'm not sure if I knew about the second marriage. I don't think so, but there was like a lot.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember. Well, I mean, if I did, it's a long time
ago. That's a whole marriage. I'm not keeping a marriage from. I mean, that was open, you know.
Okay. Yeah. But it was. See, now I lost my train of thought. It was. There was just a lot that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know about
crack.
I didn't know about the drug addiction. You know, I didn't know about a lot of that stuff, and. You know, so we're going along, living our married life, and I just remember he called me and said, you know, there was this lump under my arm. Hey, Tammy, there's this lump under my arm, and, you know, and I said, well, just go to urgent care and just go get it checked out. And I don't know if I knew beforehand about you going to the ER 4 years prior with the same lump under your arm. So tell that.
Yeah, so I went when I was living in Las Vegas. I had a lump underneath my arm. The issue was that I was 500 pounds. So when I went to University Medical Center and had them check me out, they immediately said, okay, well, you're an obese man. Go home and put a warm compress on it and you'll be fine. So after that doctor's appointment, I never really thought about the lump anymore. I just went home, put a warm rag on it, and I was like, all right, well, they just told me what to do, so that's what I'm going to do. Fast forward 4 years later, I have gastric bypass in May of 2005, come here, get married, 2006 now. When I go have the test, they said that my lymph nodes were 200 times the size of a normal lymph node. And so the doctor immediately said that I needed to go have a biopsy to go find out, you know, why my lymph nodes were like that. So I went and had the biopsy up underneath my arm, and the doctor called and said that they needed to have us come in for a meeting. And so we went to this meeting. And in the meeting, the doctor says, well, unfortunately, your lymph node biopsy has revealed that you have cancer. And at that point, they didn't know the specifics of the cancer because they had to do the PET scan and everything and do a further study. So when I went in for the further study, it came back that I had stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, you had that bone marrow.
Oh yeah,
test. That was
horrible. Bone marrow. What
was it? Bone, whatever it was. The
aspiration.
The needle was this big.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna go through his whole body.
Yeah, the whole hospital could hear me screaming. It was just the worst pain that you could ever imagine. But during that right there, during the PET scan and everything, it revealed that I had stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. But it also revealed that the cancer was under my arms. I had tumors all down my chest. My liver was infected. My spleen was infected. It was a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete mess. And so we were in. The doctor started to tell me, the diagnosis and everything. And I just remember hearing like this monotone, like silence.
It was like a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was like,
it was.
It was like slow motion. It was like, yeah, you have, and
exactly.
I really don't.
Like an outer body experience.
Yeah, it really was.
You're just what? Like, I was 24 years old. I mean, I just had a new lease on life. I
think you were 25 at that point.
Oh, well, okay.
This was 2006.
Okay.
Because you had a birthday after we were, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but still at an age where here I am, I moved to this new state, I get married, I have my wife, I finally began to lose all this weight that I've been carrying for years, and I had a new lease on life, and then bam, cancer.